It's probably not been the best birthday today for Governor Rod Blagojevich, who turned 52 on the first full day when pretty much the entire country and world is now aware of his name, even if some of the commentators on national outlets may have trouble pronouncing it, but they'll get to know. Actually, one 24/7 network had his name misspelled even during the press conference when charges were announced a day earlier. But Rod Blagojevich, unlike some days, went to work today in his Chicago office, left his home, did not meet with reporters to address exactly what's going on, but obviously that might be awkward at this point because a lot of people would have a lot of very serious questions, and he may want things to cool down before he once again proclaims his innocence, which he had done about a day before. U.S. Attorney Patrick Fitzgerald in Chicago said that they now were filing a complaint against the governor, saying that he had tried to use his influence as governor to get money or position for things, including naming a replacement for U.S. Senator Barack Obama. That has really shaken Illinois politics and national politics. It's making Illinois somewhat of a laughingstock, but we move on. Senator Dick Durbin of Springfield and Harry Reid, who is the number one person in the United States Senate, Durbin being number two, it is reported by the Associated Press, are circulating a letter in Washington asking that Blagojevich resign, and also hinting strongly that, or saying they don't want him to name anyone to the United States Senate, and hinting that if he does, that person may not be seated because other senators have the opportunity not to seat someone sent by a state. So in the meantime, the Illinois legislature is scheduled to meet on Monday in what is a special, I'm not sure if it's technically special, a special session. They will meet probably to set up a new law that will take the power for naming that United States Senate replacement for President-elect Barack Obama away from the governor. So there is kind of a grand movement among many to say take the power away from the governor. There's also newspaper editorials have called in very large newspapers in the state have called for the governor to resign, and another major development today is that Barack Obama, the president-elect, also through a spokesman, Robert Gibbs, called for Governor Blagojevich to resign. Those who have watched Governor Blagojevich know that he's not the type to take direction from anyone, but obviously the pressure is building for him to leave office under his own power instead of the legislature having to go through an impeachment process, because it seems like one or the other is likely to happen at this point. But I still think it is so unlike the nature of the Governor Blagojevich that we have known through those times he's been in Springfield, and through the TV ads and through the fights that he has had with many opponents, perceived or otherwise, that he has used in his political banter over the last 6 years. It's very unlike him to leave office or to do anything that he doesn't want to do because somebody told him to. So the pressure is building, but there we go. Other state government continues to operate. As many observers have said, he has not been a hands-on governor anyway. The agencies have tended to run themselves. He's rarely seen in Springfield. He is also, according to some TV coverage, an 8-minute story on one of the commercial stations there, Channel 2, often not seen at his downtown Chicago office, often working out of his house or his campaign headquarters, the two places, as it turns out, that ended up being wiretapped or bugged by the feds, leading to the charges that he now faces. But one change that was made today is Bob Greenlee, 33 years old, of Chicago, who was making about $149,000 a year as deputy governor, one of 3 deputy governors, resigned. That was confirmed by the administration. We're not sure of details or reasons at this point. I know from meeting with Mr. Greenlee at the editorial board here at the State Journal-Register, he's smart young guy. He had helped brief reporters on budget issues in the last couple of years as a top budget guy. So clearly as a smart and rising young person who is obviously been part of an administration that is now not looked upon with a lot of greatness other than there's a lot more notoriety than one might hope for in a bad way because of the charges that have been announced against Governor Blagojevich. Another development, certain news organizations reported that they believe Jesse Jackson Jr., congressman from Chicago and son of civil rights leader Jesse Jackson, was the senator named in the information provided by the U.S. attorney as having had an emissary discuss possibly, or having the governor say that an emissary discussed the possibility of raising money for Blagojevich in exchange for Jackson being named to the U.S. Senate. Jackson had a press conference. He denied any such involvement. He spoke rather emotionally about how he enjoys serving the state of Illinois, and he's been in Congress, I believe it's 14 years. So that's just another part of the growing story. There were, of course, many individual A, B, and C, and Senate candidate 1, 2, or 3, or things like that in the federal information. So what we know right now is pressure is building for some kind of change in the governor's status. He has not spoken about it publicly, but even President-elect Obama has asked him to resign. It is a very odd time in the state of Illinois, and this story goes on and on because state government goes on. There are, 50 or 60,000 people working for that state government. The university system is all dependent on this. And while some will say, some people who have not been fans of Governor Blagojevich, that the state's been lacking leadership for a long time, right now the void at the top is rather gaping, and we'll try to keep you informed of the next step along the way.